Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us this Wednesday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. We will check in with Russ in just a moment, but first, some breaking news. An arrest made surrounding the jailbreak in Hardin last Friday night, but it's not the third escapee who's still on the loose. Bighorn County authorities say they've apprehended, quote, another major subject involved in last Friday's escape. Sheriff Pete Bighair says today his officers, along with the U.S. Marshal Service, executed a search warrant on a home in Hardin. Now, Bighair tells Q2 the suspect's name is not being released, but authorities believe the man helped all three escapees get to Billings after breaking out Friday night. Tonight, 25-year-old Andrew Parham is still wanted by law enforcement, and authorities say he is considered armed and dangerous. Parham is 6'4", 185 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Now, Parham was arrested in Bighorn County on warrants from the state of Oklahoma on charges of meth possession and drug trafficking before he escaped. Now, two other escapees, Anthony Castro and Stephen Caplet, were both arrested in Billings earlier this week. Well, the two Democratic candidates vying to be Montana's next governor are set to take the stage tonight at MSU Billings. It's the first time that Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney and newcomer Whitney Williams have met for debate. Q2's Russ Riesinger is one of the panelists for tonight's forum and joins us now from MSUB's Petro Theater with a preview. Russ.
Well, Jeanelle, we had the Republican candidates for governor here in Billings last month. Tonight, it's the Democrats' turn, a chance to hear from Mike Cooney and Whitney Williams, who will be facing off in the June 2nd primary. Now, these two candidates come from different backgrounds, but seem to have a lot in common when it comes to the issues. And it'll be interesting tonight to see what sets them apart.
Well, I want to take the state into the future, and I want to move with urgency.
Our goal is to make sure that I turn over a better Montana than what was given to me.
Democrats have controlled the top office under Montana's Copper Dome for the last 16 years. The two candidates hoping to keep that streak alive, 48-year-old businesswoman Whitney Williams and 65-year-old current Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney.
Some good things are really happening, and I think we need to continue to build on those things to make sure that Montanans have the opportunity to raise their families, have good jobs.
I think that we have some real challenges ahead of us, and small communities and rural communities in Montana are really struggling.
But both of these candidates seem to have a lot more in common than they do differences. Both are vowing to fight for continued access to public lands, for instance. Both are pushing for pre-kindergarten.
So we want to make sure that we do what government is supposed to do, which is educate all of our kids, including the 4-year-olds in the state, all the way through apprenticeship programs and two-year colleges, which I think are really important.
How do we make sure we have the best education for our kids? And because we've got to prepare them to go out and compete anywhere in the world. How do we make sure that we are offering our families in Montana access to quality health care and prescription drugs that are affordable?
Tonight's forum was put together by the MSUB College Democrats.
Just college affordability is huge. And another thing is healthcare. That's a huge thing with everybody, just to make sure that healthcare is affordable so that you can go to a doctor and it's not going to put you in the hole for the next month or year. And I think that those are probably the main things that I've come across on campus.
With the primary now less than 4 months away, it's up to the candidates to convince voters that they're the best choice.
As a businesswoman, I have a different skill set, I have a different expertise, I have a different sensibility, and I've solved very different problems in my career, and I think that that's what Montana needs.
I understand how things run. I understand how you need to bring people together to get decisions made. I've done it. I've got a track record, and I have a connection.
I'm looking forward to being one of the panelists tonight. We'll be questioning the candidates on a number of different topics, from their plan for jobs to public safety to education to health care. Things get started in about a half an hour here at Petro Theater. Should be an interesting night. My colleague Jay Cohn is here. He'll be bringing a full report tonight at 10. For now, live from the MSUB campus, I'm Russ Riesinger reporting for Q2 News. Back to you, Jeanelle.
All right, thanks so much, Russ. Well, President Trump weighed in on the Montana contest for the state's only U.S. House seat. Trump endorsed Republican Matt Rosendale in the crowded race, calling Rosendale a strong conservative fighter who supports the military, border security, and Second Amendment rights. Now, Trump made similar comments on Twitter today as he endorsed a half dozen other Republican congressional candidates around the country. State Auditor Rosendale is one of 6 Republicans vying for the party's nomination this June. Trump came to Montana 4 times in 2018 to hold rallies supporting Rosendale in his unsuccessful effort to unseat Democratic Senator Jon Tester. Well, a scary incident in downtown Missoula this morning as a Missoula City police officer reported having his rear window of his patrol car shot out as he was driving. Now, the officer was heading northbound on the 400 block of Woody Street near the courthouse. A perimeter around the area was immediately established and armed officers stood by in the street and at top buildings as a portion of Broadway Street was temporarily blocked off. No one was injured in this incident, and authorities say there is no threat to the public at this time, but the suspect still has not been apprehended and no description has been made available. And that lockdown was lifted around 3:15 this afternoon, and that investigation is ongoing. And an update tonight from Laurel, where police found what they're calling an unattended body on Monday night. Police Chief Stan Langvey says the major work is finished up at the home on the 600 block of 5th Avenue, and investigators have cleared the scene. Now, so far, he says they have discovered nothing to upgrade the investigation. However, he says the investigation is active pending a toxicology report. He says there is no threat to the public and the identity of the body has not yet been released. One of 2 men accused of decapitating a man that they met at a Billings casino in 2017 pleads guilty to deliberate homicide. 35-year-old Jeffrey Haverty agreed to a plea deal and will give details about his alleged co-accomplice, Donald Cherry, in exchange for a lesser sentence. Prosecutors will now recommend 70 years at the Montana State Prison with 20 years suspended. Now, before, Haverty faced up to 110 years behind bars. The victim, 41-year-old Myron Knight, was killed in October and found the following month beheaded and wrapped in a carpet in West Billings. Haverty's sentencing is set for February 26th. Well, more than 63,000 vehicles travel each day through the intersection of Main Street and Airport Road in the Billings Heights. And the Montana Department of Transportation will show the potential improvement plans to the public come tomorrow. Now, the designs are scheduled to be complete next year, and construction is planned to start in 2024. The plan would include 3 eastbound left turn lanes from Airport Road to turn north onto Main Street, 2 westbound lanes on Airport Road for Metro Park traffic, a right turn lane from southbound Main Street heading west onto Airport Road, a left turn lane from southbound Main Street to turn east onto Airport Road. It would also add signals at Main Street and Arneson Road. Now, the Department of Transportation will show the plans and take public comment at an open house tomorrow at the Metro Park Yellowstone Room at the grandstands. Again, that is Thursday, tomorrow, from 4 to 6 p.m. Well, we turn now to weather with Q2 Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire. And Bob, we have one word. We can keep saying it over and over and over again, but it's one word: cold.
Yeah, Arctic air last night kind of made its way in towards eastern Montana, spread all the way to the mountains, and I tell you what, it got very chilly. Now, as far as watches and warnings are concerned, we still have a little chance for some snow showers across the Pryor Mountains, but that's about it. But look up there, that's a wind chill advisory thanks to that cold Arctic air that we had. So we're talking wind chills of 15 to 30 below zero. That's right, that's how cold it's going to get. And not only here, take a look at the Dakotas. This is what we're looking at. As you can see, by 5:30 tonight, 29 below zero wind chill over Bismarck, 42 below zero over at Fargo, North Dakota. And then by 9 o'clock tonight, it'll be 44 below zero wind chill at Fargo, 32 of Bismarck, that's 32 below zero. Look at Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 35 below zero. Then tomorrow morning, like 45 below zero, 40 below zero over at Fargo. So we're missing out on most of the coldest Arctic air, and I'm good with that. By tomorrow afternoon, this whole thing starts to slide out of the way. We'll have more on the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, listen up. A reminder for about 75,000 Montanans as we get closer to tax season. The 2017 state legislature passed the Montana Earned Income Tax Credit, worth 3% of the federal earned income tax credit and refundable. Now, Governor Steve Bullock and Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney are encouraging people to take advantage of this. Montanans who claimed the federal tax credit last year received an average refund of $2,000. Now, Bullock says tax refunds can truly help families trying to escape poverty.
to pay for essentials such as groceries, gas, and housing. Or it could help families get caught up on a utility bill or pay for maintenance of the vehicle they rely on to get their job each day or to get their kids to school.
Now you can head to the Montana Department of Revenue website to find out if you are eligible. Again, that's 75,000 Montanans. Tonight, up next on 5:30, Will You Be My Valentine? Montana high schoolers looking to make Valentine's Day extra special for one World War II vet. We'll show you. And in sports, just how dominant are Sydney's wrestlers heading into the weekend state tournament? Scott shows us why nobody will stop the Eagles.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.